Please ask your question.
Pretty difficult name, not as bad as Varoufakis, but still quite difficult to pronounce. Yes. Minister Dijsselbloem, thank you for this opportunity. I'm indeed a young Greek, I'm a Greek young scientist that came to work in the Netherlands in the middle of the Greek crisis. And next to me there are like 30,000 young engineers and scientists right now in the Netherlands for work. Now my question is the following. As the chairman of the Eurogroup summit, you have insisted that Greece should achieve very high surplus, like 3.5% above from 2018 and follow on. Now my question is that why would you insist in such a high surplus for the government instead of increased spending for R&D, for IT, for the IT industry, for IT jobs creation? I mean, Greece has the lowest funding right now in R&D. Wouldn't it make sense to put that money on funneling research and development so that people like me could be in Greece and help the country stand again?
I think it's clear what you
so,
want.
that's not the answer. Sorry. Thank you.
Why not?
Well, the crisis in Greece is a long story, so I'll give the short version. When the program started, it's a support program. Not all people in Greece feel that it's very supportive, but it's a support program. The deficit in Greece for the Greek government was -15, and we are gradually, or the Greek government is gradually bringing it down. So when you say 3.5% surplus, that sounds very high, but it's a primary surplus, so it's not a real. When we are now at a zero balanced budget, so 3.5 primary surplus means that if you set aside the costs of the debt, then there is a surplus. So just to explain that. Of course, Greece still has a budget. They are still spending money on healthcare, on pensions, on education, on the defense industry. There is no country in Europe, I think, after the UK that spends so much on defense and the military than the Greeks. Why am I saying this? Because there are still choices to be made within that budget. In the long run, Greece wants to become, and should become, financially independent. So they need a sustainable budget. What we're doing right now is trying to get an agreement on the last kind of reforms that makes the Greek economy much more vital, that brings back investment. The budget is no longer the biggest issue. Most work has been done, so it's going very well in the right direction. And we need to make sure that they can pay for the debt. And to do that, we've lengthened maturities, we've radically reduced the interest payments, and at the end of the program in 2018, we will check again whether this debt is sustainable. Finally, what we can do to support new economic growth, because that's a key question.
Exactly.
What can we in the meantime, while we're sorting all this out, what can we in the meantime do to increase new growth? The European Commission has put aside a very large sum for Greece from the structural funds and the cohesion funds to support new companies, to support new investments, to be able to support research and development in Greece. The biggest problem there is organizing the projects. So now the Commission has put up a task force to support the Greek government and the Greek universities to generate the projects. The money from the structural funds, the European structure funds, is not fully used by the Greeks and the Greek government. So the money is there, but it's not fully used. So now the Commission has set up this task force to make use of that money. So these kind of investment funds are available. The World Bank is also active in Greece. The EBRD, so the Restructuring and Development Bank for Europe, is active in Greece. The EIB, the European Investment Bank, is active in Greece. But the key issue is there need to be good projects. We need entrepreneurs, young researchers, to walk into the office, I mean seriously, to walk into the office of the EIB in Athens and to say, look, I've got a business plan, I need financing. Because the money is available.
This is like a boomerang question. Straight back to you.
Well, the problem is that the Greek government is instead increasing taxation, and that is not helping for businesses and for young people to start their business. And I was hoping that, yeah, the Eurogroup summit would insist on that direction instead.
Well, taxation, just short, very short. The tax system in Greece is not very efficient, and that's an understatement.
Yeah, it is.
No, but seriously, if you want to maintain a good government and a good public sector, schools, etc., then you need sound tax system. So big companies need to pay. Families with a lot of money should bring back some of that money from London back to Greece. Tax credits should be fair and proportional. So more people should pay taxes in Greece. Also, this is being worked at. The tax revenues are increasing. You could argue that's bad for the economy. I would argue tax revenues need to increase in Greece to get a more sustainable economic situation, also in the budget. If you don't pay taxes, it's the same here in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Everyone hates taxes. If you don't pay taxes, you cannot
We
afford it.
haven't succeeded in reforming our tax system either, did we? Because we're trying a lot of time.
Well, I'm sure if we have a little questionnaire here, people would probably say that they pay plenty tax, so that's not the problem. You can still argue, are the right people paying the taxes?
No.
The answer is always no. I think that one of the key things that we're doing in Europe right now is working together to fight tax evasion. Because also if you look at the Netherlands, small businesses and normal households pay a lot of tax in this country, but large businesses pay very, very little. And I don't think that's a sustainable situation. Part of it has to do because the large international companies use tax planning and routes to avoid paying taxes. The only way to fight that is jointly, internationally, and we're doing that. And the other issue is that there are a lot of ways to deduct costs from your taxes, and large companies are much more successful in using that. So we need to rebalance that. That's the only way we can keep financing research, education, infrastructure, etc.
We're going to